10th standard CBSE, one of the lengthiest concepts, one of the most important concepts, और सबसे important everybody, जो concept आपको examination में जिसके ऊपर you would be getting most probably 8 to 10 marks के questions, higher end 12 marks as compulsory questions, उस topic का नाम है बेटा called as globalization and India, to be very honest. Now this topic is important because इस topic को समझने के लिए you need to understand कि where we are right now. I'm able to use this ViewSonic board thanks to globalization. I'm able to have a Google smartphone thanks to globalization. I'm able to have Daikin AC in my studio thanks to globalization. I'm able to use wonderful amount of tripods, all the technical gadgets, glitz and glamour thanks to globalization. And why so? Let's understand that. So learn this chapter to understand how things have changed. इंडिया में हम लोग खाते हैं वड़ा पाव, अपन सिंपल खाता हो वड़ा पाव. फॉरेन कंट्रीज ने मैकडी आणलं, which is an Indian form of a sophisticated वड़ा पाव called as McDonald's. That's it. So मोठी गोष्ट काही नाही आहे, but what transformed Indian economy, that is the thing we'll be learning today. So one thing is globalization. Globalization in simple definition. Globalization as a simple definition means you open the doors of domestic economy for the world economy. You open the doors of domestic economy for the world economy is called as globalization. When did India come under globalization radar? Let's understand this thing well. सबसे पहले इंडिया मध्ये होता something called as सरकार राज. इंडिया मध्ये होता something called as सरकार राज. And what exactly is the meaning of Sarkar Raj, everybody? Sarkar Raj in simple terms, Sarkar Raj in simple understanding, everybody, it means everything was being governed, everything was being understood, everything was being controlled, everything was being held into the clutches and into the hands of the central government. Number one. Number two, मग सेंट्रल गव्हर्नमेंट कडे जर सगळं होतं, दॅट इज वन ऑफ द रिझन्स वाय एव्हरी वन ऑफ अस टुक टाइम टू सेटल डाऊन. साधं फ्लॅट रजिस्ट्रेशन केल्यानंतर फ्लॅटचं बुकिंग डेट यायची आफ्टर 7 to 9 months. गॅस सिलेंडर रजिस्ट्रेशन केल्यानंतर रजिस्ट्रेशनचा नंबर मिळायचा आफ्टर 11 to 12 months, ऑलमोस्ट अ इयर. सो इट वॉज अ व्हेरी स्लगिश प्रोसेस आणि म्हणून म्हटलं जायचं इंडिया टिल 1991-92 वॉज अ व्हेरी स्लगिश इकॉनॉमी. वी वर नॉट गोइंग विथ द पेस ऑफ द वर्ल्ड. We were not going with the pace of the global developments that's were happening, and that's why Indian economy remained absolutely backward. आज जे आपण दुनियामध्ये, आज जे आपण आपल्या देशामध्ये कार्स बघतो, मारुती सुझुकी, हिरो होंडा, और होंडा फॉर दैट मैटर, Hyundai for that matter, Audi for that matter. By the way, it's not called as Audi, it's called as Audi. Okay. Something called as Jaguar for that matter, BMW, by the way, it's not called as BMW, it's called as BMW. That things are all to be given credit to something called as globalization, everybody. Coming back, globalization was called under the radar under the system called as new economic policy since introduced in 1991. Introduced in the year 1991 मध्ये introduce केलेली policy होती. New economic policy under there were three big pillars. Pillar number 1 was liberalization. Pillar number 2 was privatization. Pillar number 3 was globalization. And तीनही pillars were highly important, everybody. What is the concept of liberalization and privatization? Understand this thing well. Liberalization is liberalizing म्हणजे freeing up of your economy. गव्हर्नमेंट म्हटलं आम्ही सगळ्या गोष्टी ठेवणार नाही आमच्याकडे. वी विल नॉट हॅव कंट्रोल ओव्हर एव्हरीथिंग एक्सेप्ट फॉर द 14 sectors that we would like to govern under, because these sectors involve, I repeat, because these sectors involve, unfortunately, they need an absolute security. They don't need business perspective into that. कुठले सेक्टर्स होते? सेक्टर्स लाईक commercialization of transport, sectors like infra, sectors like structural management, number second. Number third, something called as the management of, I repeat, something called as the management of infrastructure projects, gold mining, coal mining, cement, railways, defense. ह्या सगळ्या सेक्टर्स मध्ये गव्हर्नमेंट मेड इट व्हेरी सिंपल, गव्हर्नमेंट मेड इट व्हेरी इम्पॉर्टंट दॅट येस देर वुड बी अपग्रेडेशन्स बट गव्हर्नमेंट वुड कंट्रोल इट. बाकी सगळे सेक्टर्स गव्हर्नमेंट प्रायव्हेटाइज्ड इट completely, so far and so forth. nothing government said will control it. त्याला आपण म्हणतो privatization, liberalization, where government liberalized everything. प्रायव्हेटायझेशन, गव्हर्नमेंट म्हटलं आम्ही सेक्टर्स मध्ये सुद्धा वी विल इन्कल्केट समथिंग कॉल्ड एज प्रायव्हेटायझेशन ऑफ सेक्टर्स, वी विल इन्कल्केट समथिंग कॉल्ड एज ओपनिंग अप ऑफ एन इकॉनॉमी अलॉंग विथ दैट प्रायव्हेटायझेशन. लेट प्रायव्हेट पीपल कम इनटू द पिक्चर, लेट प्रायव्हेट entrepreneurs come into the picture. कारण whenever there is private entrepreneurship there is profit, there is commercialization, there is bang on service. गव्हर्नमेंट कडनं ऑब्व्हियसली थोडा डिले होतो ह्या गोष्टींना. And then there is globalization. I'm not joking. Then Prime Minister of India, Mr. P.V. Narasimha Rao, and then Finance Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh, यांनी एकत्र बसून under the Congress regime, this policy was being drafted called as the new economic policy named as LPG, liberalization, privatization and globalization. Don't confuse it. It is not liquefied petroleum gas. It is liberalization, privatization and globalization everybody. फर्दर त्यांनी काय सांगितलं, लेट्स ओपन द डोर्स. पण कौतुकाची गोष्ट ही आहे की बोथ ऑफ देम रिगरसली 72 आवर्स मध्ये कॉन्स्टंट बसून कड़ी मेहनत के साथ 72 घंटों में इन्होंने पॉलिसी लाई कॉल्ड एज लिबरलाइजेशन, प्राइवेटाइजेशन एंड ग्लोबलाइजेशन न्यू इकोनॉमिक पॉलिसी. फर्दर एव्हरीबडी, सरकार राज गव्हर्नन्स बंद केला होता, गव्हर्नमेंट इंटरफिअरन्स वॉज नलिफाईड अँड इंडिया वॉज ओपन फ्रीली. तेव्हा आपल्याला बघायला मिळालं मॅकडी इव्हेंच्युअली केम इन इंडिया, बर्गर केम इन इंडिया. आपल्याला बर्गर हा प्रकार माहितीच नव्हता काही. पिझ्झा केम इन इंडिया, मॅगी. नॉर्मल इंडियन्स नो समथिंग कॉल्ड एज सेवैया, हिंदीमध्ये म्हणतात, मराठीमध्ये आपण त्याला शेवया म्हणतो. आपल्याकडे तेच माहिती प्रकार होते. त्याच्या मॅगडी समथिंग कॉल्ड एज अ नूडल फॉर्म हा आपल्याला माहिती नव्हता, विच नेस्ले इंट्रोड्यूस्ड इन इंडिया. वी डिड नॉट नो समथिंग कॉल्ड एज सुझुकी. आपल्याला मारुतीने मर्ज केलं सुझुकी बरोबर, कॉल्ड एज मारुती सुझुकी. So the life that we are living now, thanks to globalization in 1991, why we are living a better life, it's thanks to that government today. Foreign people came into India, foreign companies came in India, they had their business set up. Now why foreigners prefer something called as India? Stay tuned everybody for the next part of the video coming soon after this. Why foreigners and multinationals preferred India, prefer China over other countries in the world. Stay tuned for the same everyone.